Hi, welcome to Video Games Revisited. Today we're going to be playing Yars' Revenge on the Atari 2600. This game was released by Atari in 1982 and is the best-selling original title for the Atari 2600. In Yars' Revenge, you take on the role of a Yar, and your aim is to destroy the Colite that launched an unprovoked attack on your planet to stop it doing this again to other defenseless planets. Now, as with most 2600 games, the story isn't particularly important. However, it does go a long way to explain the rather bizarre game that you'll find on this cartridge. To get to the Colite, your Yar must first shoot and chew its way through its defensive shield. That protects it as it moves up and down the screen. Now, this shield takes on a couple of different forms, the first being a large semicircle that maintains its shape and is relatively easy to shoot through, and the second being a rectangular block. The cells this block is comprised of move around in what can only be described as a conveyor belt fashion, meaning it takes a lot more shooting to pierce all the way through. With this done, the Yar must then touch the head of the colon to bring up the Zorlon cannon on the left hand side of the screen, before it can launch a missile from the cannon, and if this missile makes contact with the alien, it will destroy it in a single hit, treating you to a rather impressive looking explosion before the game loops and presents you with another Cotile head. All the time you're attacking the Cotile, you'll have a homing missile chase you around the playing field, and if it touches you, you'll lose a life. Thankfully, you've been provided with a neutral area in the middle of the screen, which is represented by a never-ending stream of glimmering pixels, which is quite impressive graphics for the Atari 2600. However, the Cotile will occasionally change into a large spinning pinwheel and fire itself at you, and in this form he can hurt you regardless of whether you're in the neutral zone. So as you can see, when playing Yars' Revenge, there's a lot to be thinking about and a lot going on, and for such an old game, what you have to go through to expose an enemy to attack it is quite involved, and it's quite rare to see an attacking strategy for the Atari that doesn't just involve repeatedly firing at an enemy. In fact, those looking for a challenge may be interested in changing to game mode 6 and 7 of the cartridge, which are referred to as Ultimate Yars. In Ultimate Yars, a couple of extra features are added, the most obvious being you cannot fire the cannon unless you're in possession of 5 trons, and these trons are obtained by eating the shield, touching the Cotile, or catching a rebounded cannon shot. Also in this mode, you load the cannon by touching the left-hand side of the screen instead of heading all the way to the right, which basically means you're just closer to the cannon when it fires and putting you directly in its firing line. These additional twists to the gameplay really do a lot to make an already classic game even more complex and fun to play for experienced players. Now, what strikes me the most about Yars' Revenge is that the focus of the game isn't the score you've achieved. In fact, you're only actually shown your score between rounds, just for that brief second, and I think this shows nicely exactly what Yars' Revenge is about. It's not really a game that you'll return to time after time, trying to edge your score that little bit higher. It's a game you come back to because it's fun to play, it's a good action game, and really it's a precursor to modern games where the score just ceases to be relevant. Instead, you're playing for the satisfaction of playing, and it's good to see that developers even in the 80s had a grasp of this and wanted to create a game with that feeling, and in my opinion they've certainly done it with Yars' Revenge. So that's about it. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care.